Here from Elite Hair Care USA. I knew you were gonna look like, wait, she talking about something. So today I am actually in the professional store and decided to do. If I can get this off my shirt. Yeah. Decided to do a video on the must-have tools that you should have when you are doing your home hair care. These tools are not brand specific. The brand doesn't really matter. These are more tools in general, so I don't want you to look at the names. Some of them I will talk about names. Some of them I won't even mention the name because it doesn't matter. Okay? So we're going to go down the list. It's not in any particular order. But as you guys know, I always mention different tools to you guys, and then people are like, so where do you get that from? How do you get that? When do you get this? How do you get that? That kind of thing. So I'll go through briefly, where you can find stuff. And then I did put links in the description box down below of also some of the items that are really necessary that I didn't actually have one to show you. So the first one is the hooded dryer. If you guys know, I talk a lot about treatments and how important it is to do treatments to your hair, how important it is to use heat when you are doing your treatments, especially for you, those of you who are low porosity. So a hooded dryer, and this is one that goes right on the tabletop. It doesn't need to be the one that you have in a salon where it has a whole chair on it, unless you have a home salon. That's fine. But most likely, if you have a home salon, you wouldn't be watching this video, right? Okay. So the one that you put on the table, typically Conair makes it, Golden Hot makes it. I think Home Pedix, I've seen them make one as well. But the one that I did put in the description box is made by Conair. So the link for that one is down below, where you are able to get your own hooded dryer so you can do your treatments at home and not say, oh, I don't have a dryer. Oh, where do I get it from? Oh, how do I get it? It's just that simple. So I did put a link down in the description box for that. And then also a hydration therapy machine. This is a specialty machine. It is made for just hydration treatments, or if you are steaming your face, because you can steam your face as well. Those of you who get facials, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's actually a 3-in-1, so you have the ability to do all three. And that tool is also down in the description box as well. The hydration therapy treatment is used to customize your treatment itself to make it penetrate even more, to introduce hydration and moisture into the hair, and not just through a processing cap, which will then lead me over to another must-have tool that you should have at home is the processing caps. These are plastic caps. These are disposable. Some of you have the ones that are non-disposable. If you're going to use those, you have to make sure that you rinse them out and clean them out every so often, because you will be mixing and cross-contaminating. Me personally, I like disposable caps because I feel like, it's not even I feel like, I know this. Caps eventually will build up germs. They're plastic. Okay, bacteria sits and settles in plastic. Typically, you want to leave these in your shower. They shouldn't be left with moisture because it's going to grow mold and film. And then every time you go to do a treatment, you are using the same nasty cap on your head. So I definitely say to get a bag of processing caps. They're really cheap. You can find them almost anywhere. And then just throw it away when you're done with it. You'd only use it once every 2 weeks, so it won't hurt to spend $1 to $3 for your hair care every 2-3 weeks. Okay, so processing caps is a definite must. Another one, gloves. It doesn't have to be this particular color. Black gloves are very expensive, mainly because these gloves, the color, the texture, the feel, they are a little more expensive. So they don't have to be black gloves, but you do want to make sure that you have disposable gloves that you can use to administer your treatment onto your hair. While I know we like to scoop in with our hands all the time, if you are one who, like a stylist where you're doing other people's hair, it's always best to use gloves if you can. I don't always use gloves, but you do definitely want to have gloves on hand, especially if you are using things like protein. They kind of can dry the hands out, and because you're doing it more often at home, you want to just make sure that you have gloves on hand whenever you need it. Okay, so just like how you clean your home with gloves, same thing for your hair. Another tool, a spray bottle. So this is a spray bottle, which is actually, this is a mister. So this streams, when you spray it, it goes shh. And then you spray it again, it goes shh. Instead of a typical spray bottle with squirt, 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 this mists water on the hair, but you can also mix your product in this bottle. For those of you who like to do conditioner leave-ins, or you make your own conditioner leave-in treatments, you can put them in this bottle with water and dilute whatever treatment you're using and stream it on. So a water bottle or spray bottle or mister is very important to have at home as well. This one, these are what we call gator clips. It doesn't have to be any particular brand. You just want to make sure that you have clips that you are able to use to separate the hair whenever needed at home. That is also very important for whenever you're doing your treatments, whenever you're doing your styles, whatever the case may be. These are definitely a must to have at home. They're called gator clips. I like these because they're plastic. They don't pull the hair. And they're very big, so for those of you who have a lot of hair, these definitely hold the hair. The better gator clips, you can tell they don't break as easy, and then they have ones that are even bigger than this for those of you who have a large density or greater density of hair. Okay, so gator clips, very important. Detangling combs. So detangling combs are not created equal. They come in different styles. They come in different widths. This is just one that I found here in store, but you can get a detangling comb with the handle, which I thought I saw one, but it's not in reach at this moment. They have the ones that have the handle. They have the ones with the wider teeth. So you get the detangling comb that is best for your hair type. This one I would not use on clients who have a large density of hair. It's too flimsy for that. I would use one that has a handle that's a lot thicker. So you want to make sure you get a detangling comb that is catered to your hair type, okay, and texture. Would I use this on coarse textured hair? No. No, no, no. This is going to be more work than normal. And a lot of times you guys have struggles dealing with your hair because you are using the wrong tools. The difference is combs. People think, oh, it's just a comb. It doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Certain combs are used for certain things. So you want to make sure that you get a detangling comb specifically that is geared towards your hair type. Okay, I would use something like this for my hair. I would not use something like this for my natural clients. The teeth are too narrow. I'd want a wider width tooth because I'm dealing with a curl pattern or a texture. This is great for relaxed hair, and sometimes this isn't even great for relaxed hair because the teeth can be too narrow or too close together. Okay. Then we have our detangling paddle brush. If you guys ever see me work, whenever I'm doing my blow dries, whenever I am doing my wraps, I use a detangling paddle brush. I did put a link down in the description box for this company's brush in particular because I really do like their brushes. This is by Wet Brush Pro. They have a whole line of tools in regards to detangling. You might also be able to find the detangling comb that you like. In no way am I getting paid to tell you about this, but this is just a brand that I have actually seen and liked their brushes. And they make a great paddle brush that has a cushion. So it should be a cushioned paddle brush that takes the tension off the hair, number one, and it doesn't drag the hair, number two. Okay, so the link for this company's brush is in the description box, and I think on Amazon it was like $9.99. Can't beat it. And I've had my brush for like 2, 3, maybe 4 or more years now. Okay. Lastly, you do want to make sure that you have a blow dryer. It's not the company in specific. I don't really care the company. This is more of a professional blow dryer, but you do want to make sure you have a blow dryer that does have a directional spout on it. It can also come with the comb attachment. Some of you need the comb attachment for your blow drying, which is great. If you know and follow my channel, you know that I do not do blow drying on sopping wet hair. I use my hood dryer first to help diffuse and dry the hair. Then I follow through with my blow dryer when the hair is over at least 60 to 70% dry. But you do want to make sure you have a blow dryer on hand. That's very important. For those of you who are natural and, oh, I'll never blow dry my hair. I never blow dry my hair. I don't even detangle with a comb. I use my fingers. Stop it. Just stop. Okay? Okay. And then outside of that, of course, you guys want to make sure that you have all the right products for your hair. Whether it be my line or someone else, just make sure that you are getting your products that go with it. Somebody's laughing at me. Make sure that you get your products that go with your hair type, your hair texture. This is also stuff that I teach in the Boss Babes event. So the coming one is in Atlanta on February 22nd. These are different things that we. Are you trying to mess up my video? No, I'm just. These are the ones that I talk about stuff like this in the Boss Babes video event purposely because I feel like hair care should be done with a purpose. It shouldn't just be done just to be done. And this is where people go wrong. They have the wrong tools. They have the wrong products. They don't know what tools they need. They don't know where to get them. They don't even know how to do it. Okay, so that's very important. So if you haven't signed up for the Boss Babes event, make sure you go and click the location that is nearest you so that you can sign up. As I said, I did put in the description box links to some of the tools that I mentioned, which was the hood dryer, the hydration machine, which a lot of you definitely, especially my low porosity girls, you need to use the hydration machine. You can use it on your children too. The hood dryer, you can use everybody, broad spectrum. And then also the detangling brush, which is very, very, very important. A lot of times people skimp on their tools, and you guys love to go to the little cheap beauty supplies, and you guys get these combs that are like $3, $4, not knowing that the teeth are not equal. The teeth have tugs and snips because they're imperfected, they're cheap combs, and then you use them and wonder why you're losing strand after strand every time you comb through it because you're using a comb that's really not good for your hair. You're using a brush that's not made for your hair. A lot of you like to use this brush, and I'm going to show you this brush. Hold on. This brush right here is called a Denim brush, okay? Or a Denman brush. A lot of people like to use these brushes, right? This brush is not my fave, okay? It's not my favorite at all. This brush is one of those brushes where I used to use it a lot. A lot of people love to talk about this brush, but the teeth and the actual brush itself is not flexible. So every time you do it, it's a lot of tension. I used to use these for blow drying. I stopped a couple years ago. It just never was one of my faves. Some people love this brush, not my favorite. Here's the thing. This brush is actually not even supposed to be used to detangle the hair. This is a styling brush. This is to be used on dry hair when it's dry for styling and blowing it out. Okay, if you notice the bevel on the actual brush, it's made for styling. It is not made to detangle hair when it's wet. So a lot of people run to get this brush and they wonder why they lose so much hair, because this brush is not made for wet styling. It is actually made for dry styling on hair, like when you're doing a wrap or something, not for a wet blowout. You can do it when the hair is majority dry, yes, but it's not made for a wet blowout. Just love your channel. Teach them to do their hair. They're embarrassing coming out in public looking the way they do. Them dear. It's not necessarily embarrassed coming out, but some people just don't know, you know. Thank you for that. I use it and it caused damage. Yes, this brush is not my fave. It is great when the hair is dry and silked out and detangled and all that, but this brush is not the favorite brush. Is a boar bristle brush good to use? Absolutely. It's great for stimulation of blood flow on the scalp. If you guys remember back in Marilyn Monroe days, stuff like that, women used to sit at their vanities and every single night they're brushing through their hair with a boar bristle brush. Not a denim brush, not a wet brush. They are using a nice boar bristle brush, and it is helping to illuminate the shine in the hair. It's helping to stimulate the blood flow on the scalp, and that blood flow then goes to the follicle. What do I think about the Dyson blow dryer? I don't have one. Everything's hype. So if it works for you, it works for you. I don't particularly have one. Let me see if I have any other questions. Someone also asks, is it okay to use the blow dryer attaching cap? So I have a love-hate relationship with that cap. If you're going on vacation and you don't have a lot of space in your bag, but you want to be able to maybe mold your hair or something like that, then I can use that. Here's the thing to that one. The blow dryer gets so hot that even when it's on your head, the brim of that blow dryer cap that attaches to the blow dryer, and then the blow dryer pushes air and it blows up on your head. It sits on the head and then it gets really hot. So you can't sit under there with that, or you can't sit with that on for 45 minutes with high heat blow dryer. And then if you turn the blow dryer to cool, the hair is never going to dry. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. If you need it and must use it, definitely only use it if you're traveling. If you're at home, invest in the right products and tools. Thank you for your advice. I live in the Caribbean. It costs about $35 to buy one, and I was planning to buy that exact brush for my daughter's natural hair. It is great for that, but this one, be careful. Everyone's going to have their own, thought process on that brush. This one in particular, it's just not my fave. I'll watch you use different tools for different types of hair. Beautiful. Yes, your tool that you use on the hair is going to always be very, very different. Let's see if I have any other questions. What brush would you recommend for wet hair? So Wet Brush Pro actually makes these actually makes it to be able to use in wet hair. I don't like using brushes on wet hair. I like to use a comb because I can start at the ends and work the way out. And it's not even this comb in specific. They have other combs, and I'm going to grab one for you guys so you guys can see the alternative to the detangling comb, so you'll understand that not all combs are going to be the same. So hold that thought. Okay, so they don't have the one in particular that I use. They usually do, so I think it's sold out. But I'm going to show you guys a couple different combs, and I'll explain to you the difference in each one. Okay, so this is also made by Brush Pro. This is a detangling comb. If you note, I don't want to take it out of the box. If you note, the teeth have little waves in them. It makes it easy for the hair to glide through when you're detangling. These kinds of combs with this nice handle has a hard plastic, so it doesn't bend as much. So it's going to detangle a lot easier. But I like to use the one that looks kind of like this, but it has very wide teeth. And the teeth are usually about that wide. Well, the whole mouth of the brush is about, the comb is about that much, and the teeth are usually about this far apart. Okay, so these are detangling combs, but if you look at the ridges in this comb, they kind of have like a zigzag shape, so it makes it easy to go through the hair. Okay, and very true, if I could get everybody to close the chat and thumbs up this live, I'd like to get to 100 thumbs up before I continue on talking about the necessities of these combs, the different combs, that kind of thing, because that is my way of knowing that I'm giving you guys good content. But right now I'm at half that. So if everybody could close their chat and thumbs up, and then I'll keep going and we'll talk more about the tools. Let me take a drink in the meantime. I need 11 more thumbs up. So if you haven't done it, jump on over. Thank you, Geraldine and Mary. You guys always thumbs me up first. 7 more. I'm drinking a half sweet, half unsweet tea. Mm-mm-mm. 5 more. 2 more. And we should be there right now. Thank you, Carolyn. Yes, you do. Janelle, the locations are revealed to the ticket holders the week of the event. All right, so we've gotten our thumbs up, which is awesome. Someone just asked a very good question. So Maud Cherry said, I saw your face go up in the air Naturals who don't use blow dryers and use their fingers to detangle. May I ask why? Because I do. Good question, Maud. So when I answer the question, I'm not speaking to you in specific. I'm going to just answer the question in a broad spectrum. So here's the thing with finger detangling. It's okay when you have big chunks, okay? But for those who are afraid of a comb or a brush when it is time to comb through or detangle their hair are typically the ones who are more prone to damage, who are more prone to excessive shedding, who are more prone to freakouts when they go and wash their hair and they have huge bales of hair coming out. Then there's those who want to finger detangle because they think that that's going to eliminate any shedding when naturally the hair should shed anyway. Naturally, you should lose about 50 to 100 hairs in a day anyway. Naturally, you should be brushing your hair every single night before you go to bed. That stimulates blood flow. And by you just doing this, because you are trying to hold on to every last strand you have and think that that is going to stop the hair from shedding, it's not. You're going to shed even more now because you haven't done what the hair needed. The hair naturally needs to be stimulated. That's like not moving your arms and they stay like this. Eventually, they need to move. They need to do something, or they're going to stay that way. And then you're going to hinder certain things. Same thing with the blow dryer. There's nothing wrong with air drying all the time, but those people who air dry majority of the time, their first question is, why is my hair not growing? Why is my hair not growing? I feel like my growth has stopped. You know why your growth has stopped? Because you haven't even done the work to say, let me stretch it out for a second. Let me give my hair a little stretch so I can see where it's at. Let me tell my hair that I need it to stretch out and shrinkage is not always so real. And then at the end of the day, your first notion is, my hair's not growing. My hair's not growing. My hair's not growing. How would you know? You don't even stretch it out. You do twist outs every single day. You get complacent with twist outs every single day. You get complacent with bantu knots. You get complacent with, oh, I just do wash and go. Okay, but there's a rat's nest in there somewhere. There's a big ball of matting somewhere of some sort because you have not even combed through it. And I feel like that's a cop out for a lot of people, not specifically you, where people go natural for the wrong reasons. They go natural because they're lazy. They go natural because they don't want to spend the money on their hair and they think that this is all hail to never having to do anything and they're going to save $13 million a year and then become product junkies trying to find that one true product is going to detangle, blow dry, straighten, and grow their hair all at once. And I don't agree with that. So I hope that answered your question without being offensive to anyone because I've been told that I can be so offensive by me stepping on toes and answering questions the right way. But I hope that doesn't offend you or anyone else. Okay, so let's go back and talk about the combs. So I mentioned to you guys the detangling comb, okay, with the special ridges, right? Then I showed you guys this detangling comb. So if you notice, these are both, this is called the large detangling comb. This is called the pro detangling comb. If you notice, the teeth are totally different. The teeth on this one are a little bit wider. The teeth on this one are a little bit closer together. The teeth on this one have zigzags. The teeth on this one has a bevel. Okay, they are not going to always be the same. They're all very different and they're all used for different types of hair and different purposes. Okay. Then we have some who like to use combs like this and detangle. This is not a detangling comb. This is a carbon cutting comb. Not everything can be used to detangle the hair. Am I going to use a comb this small to detangle? No. I may use a comb this small to get out little knots that may have come about or that may be just continuously passing through my detangling comb. But this is not made to detangle with, okay? This is more a styling or cutting comb. Then we have those of you who like to use this baby here. This is not a detangling comb. This is a pick. This is used for afros. This is also used to add volume to the roots. Okay? This is also used to add volume to the roots. My natural gals who don't believe in combing out their hair or combing through their hair love this tool. But at the end of the day, this tool also creates what? It also creates frizz. It also creates volume by creating what we call matting, okay? Matting of the actual root, because you keep lifting up hair into hair and you're not actually pulling it out. You're lifting it up to create more volume, and now you've matted up that area. We also call that a form of teasing the roots. The more you tease, the more you have to detangle after. So I always tell people that this is not a detangling comb. This is a good comb for people who have many froze, who are in the verge of growing their hair out. They might have cut it off, that kind of thing. This is great for that, but you still need to be detangling at the same time. This is great for creating volume, but you still have to go back and detangle once that style is completed and done with. Once you're out of the ballpark for that style, it's time to have a wash day and detangle that hair thoroughly using the right tools. Cool? So those were the different combs, excluding the one that I have because I didn't see one for me to show you guys. But these are the different combs that are absolutely necessary, but also misused in certain forms and fashions. And then I'm going to read a couple questions. If I don't see any, we're going to conclude the video. But it's very expensive to properly treat natural hair. So if you consider it very expensive to treat natural hair, imagine how much it's going to cost to treat it when you don't have it and you want it. Imagine what it's going to cost to repair it when you've damaged it because you mistreated it or you didn't give it what it needed. It's going to cost you 5 times as much. So the $30 that you're going to spend on your hair care a month right now, you definitely need to be spending that on a regular, or you are going to pay a higher price later on. What are some good blow dryers? Honestly, there are so many blow dryers out there. I couldn't even begin to tell you. FHI makes great blow dryers, Babyless. I use one called Solano, but I wouldn't use that at home. It's too much to use at home. I mean, Silverbirds, Yellowbirds, go to Sally's. You know what I mean? Just get one that's good for you. After this video, I'm going to Sally's. I didn't know. I'm all natural and cut very short, but I will now blow dry my hair. Thank you. So Veronica, you don't have to blow dry it every single day, all the time. But every so often use the comb attachment on your blow dryer. Blow it out so you can see where you are. So you won't be saying shrinkage is real because you know that your hair is actually growing. No problem, Rod. I was saying this because people think it's easy and a lazy, cheap process. I'm ready to relax mine. It's not cheap. On either side, being natural is expensive. Being relaxed is just as expensive. Wearing weaves is just as expensive. Wearing wigs is just as expensive. You have to just choose the one that you care the most about. Me personally, I'm going to take care of my hair first. Is using a heat cap the same as using a hair dryer? The heat cap is just basically using the blow dryer with an attachment that sits on the head, but I would before. It's good for on the go, but I wouldn't use it all the time. It gets really hot and it's not easy to keep up with. Mary King, the golden hot is good. I used to have that as well. I mean, go out every so often and then you have to buy a new one. So I did put a link down below for one that you can get. I'm not sure if I was clear. You just want to make an appointment for not for the event. Yep. So Janelle, the link to make Atlanta appointments is also in the description box. You don't have to be going to the event to make an appointment for Atlanta to get your hair done. Jewel, I've never heard of the Ace comb, but I'm sure it's out there. Jackie, that is a great question. Jackie's question was, when do you use the steamer versus the hair dryer? So the steamer is a treatment machine. It is made for treatments. If you are making, if you want to add more moisture to the hair specifically, that's the only time you'd use it. It's a hydration machine. So it's going to open the cuticle and add in hydration, that steam, that water molecule in a gas form first, and then add product in. So they only be used for that. It can't dry the hair. It can't do anything other than add hydration. It needs water to work. Whereas the dryer is dry heat. How often should you change out your hot tools? I've had my blow dryer for over 9 years. When it goes out, it's not really a time, or when you find something better.
Hi,
Good morning.
Good morning. We have breakfast with a 20% off today.
Yes, thank you.
What is a good hydration machine? There is one. I put a link down in the description box for it.
No.
And it's one that goes on your tabletop, actually. Once blown natural hair out, do you wet it again before adding product? No, I mean, you can do like a dry style at that point. I mean, I wouldn't blow it out just to go and wet it again. Just do a dry style. No, I've never heard of moringa. Let's see. It looks... all right, guys. So I hope this video was of some greats to you guys in regards to the different tools that you should have at home for your hair care. Don't forget, the links are down below for you to be able to get the hydration machine or the hooded dryer, because I've been being asked about that for a long time. So now I put a link down there where you can get it on Amazon if you have Prime, whatever. And then for those of you who are looking for products, EliteHairCareUSA.com, and then use code YouTube to save 15%. It does not work on Amazon, so don't try to use it on Amazon. And then outside of that, I think that's really it. But you guys, thanks so much for joining today's live. I hope this video was great for you guys and it gave you some good information, so you guys have no excuse to not have good tools now. Right? Right. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.